it's okay to be a beginner, right? Like it's okay to not know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like there's a ton of people here, and you talk about like putting people together and asking these questions. Like Eric coaches a bunch and he does group coaching, and I've jumped in on a couple of them, and I agree with you. Like it's incredible. So in the event
Yeah.
that we run, we purposefully break people into smaller groups and we talk about stuff, and it all of a sudden, it's kind of awkward in the beginning and nobody really wants to share whatever, right? But immediately, like once somebody breaks the ice, by the end of a couple of days, everybody's in it, like, oh, I've learned from you and I've thought about this thing and you told me about this, and it's cool because you made that mistake. And all of a sudden you go from like having to be like all put together and I know all the answers, like it's okay not to know the answers. And I think that's a big thing, especially that Eric's talked about a ton on the podcast. It's like it's fine if you don't know, just go find somebody who does. And there are tons of people, like there's Jen and Stacy out there that know how to do this and will gladly help you along the way. So for me, that was the big, Eric and I, when we started and getting into like small business and like quads and the first kind of properties that we had, like learning a bunch. Like I came from big, so I was like, I kind of had this like, oh, I know how property management, like I know project management, no big deal. It's way different, right? And we suddenly learn all the things that you don't know. It is, it's shit, but you don't know what you don't know until you start doing it. But that's cool.
Yeah.
Like that's fine. Get around people that maybe a one step or two. They don't have to be 30 steps, but just find somebody who's a step ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, that was one of the things that, as far as the community, that was really cool because people were coming in, like, it wasn't like everyone started at the same time. People had started and then more people would come in. And as our OGs were getting further and further along and new people would come in, and those people had that same feeling like, oh, I don't want to ask a stupid question. Our more experienced, and I say more experienced, they were maybe, 4 or 5 months in, our more experienced members would totally reassure them, like, don't worry, there is no such thing as a stupid question. You might be asking something that someone else wants to ask, but they're too afraid to. So we truly, I would say it, but they would say it too, made it okay to not know stuff. And so that let people like let their guard down and just be authentic. And I think as a result of that, a lot of joint ventures ended up starting to happen because people could just really have real honest conversations with each other